Hey everyone, Pratiti Pathak here. Welcome to Unpacking Brain Drama, where we talk about real life experiences, the challenges, and the obstacles. Sometimes we use them to block ourselves, sometimes we use them to grow and evolve. Here's what I want to say: obstacles are not the things blocking our path, obstacles are the path. So, in other words, we have to grow through what we go through. So, join me as we have some amazing conversations with some amazing guests. Let's go. What's up, Wednesday? I cannot even believe this is our last Wednesday of 2022. We are here to unpack some brain drama, my own usually. I was just thinking about this is our last Wednesday for 2022. It's the middle of your morning. It is the middle of your week. And at the last Wednesday of the year. So 2022, wow, it just went by so quickly. And as I was kind of just relishing in thinking about what 2022 has really been for me, one of the things that you tend to think about is what are some of the things that didn't work out for you this year. So I wanted to talk about 2022 in a way that I encourage anybody else to do this along with me, because it's been a really fun exercise that I did this year. So many times I think about like what didn't work or what didn't go right this year. And, we tend to think about maybe some of our epic failures. And I certainly had my fair share of those this year, personally, financially, all of the things. But I had some really, really amazing things go on this year. And when I think about like what my focus was this year and has been for the past few years, is just really doing everything I can for personal transformation, personal growth, studying myself, learning more about me, and, using that in a way that has improved my relationships and my business and strengthened me financially and all of the different things. So I'm going to kind of like just go through this list of things that happened to me and for me throughout 2022. And like literally starting with like January, I had just created my new program, which was Create More Time program. It was a 12-week program. I was so in love with it. It's been so much fun having clients go through that program and seeing the results that we've created for ourselves by doing that work. I've done double dog dares with email marketing. I've learned so much about my taxes and, things that help me in my taxes and things that don't help me in my taxes, as being an LLC, which I created a few years ago. I went to my life coach school mastermind this year back in April, and it was just such an epic experience. I'm probably going to use this word a lot because I feel like 22 has been super epic. I'm super excited about 23. But I got to meet my mentor, Brooke Castillo, and so many other coaches that were my colleagues and that I went through the coaching certification with. And I finally got to meet them live in person. It was so amazing. Like immediately right after that, I went to the Growth Now Summit, was invited by another mentor of mine, Pablo Gonzalez, who was the first person to ever interview me on his podcast. And I've now been interviewed probably about 25, 30 times. It's been so amazing. I got to meet him in person for the first time. And I got to meet the Growth Now Movement podcast guy himself, right? It was Justin Schenck. And from there, I got to meet Andre Young, who is the author of 7 Ways to Lead. He is the You Evolving Now guy. So he is a leadership coach. He does a lot of really great work. Adrienne Hart, who is usually on this podcast live right now, she's always on commenting. She was one of my guests. She's a hypnotherapist, and I love her. Hypnotherapist, meditation therapist. So it's so awesome to know her and to have her be a part of my life since I've met her. I got to meet Nick Santonastasso, who was born with a very rare hand-heart syndrome, was only born with no legs and only one arm and one finger. He's a motivational speaker. He's a professional bodybuilder who inspires The Rock. I mean, just amazing people that I've gotten to meet just from going to these different events. I also met Brian Scudmore, who's the 1-800-GOT-JUNK guy. Right. And since joining the Growth Now community, I've met so many more amazing people, and I get to be in like Zoom rooms with really, really highly functioning, highly intelligent people, which I learned so much from just being with them. I renewed my license this year again, as I do every 2 years with real estate, and I continue to just love my work as a realtor. I entered a contest, did my first IG Reels, which was super fun. I noticed how long it took me to do it, and I spent an awful lot of time spinning with doing it right. But I think I'm going to try to get so much more into that. I learned so much this year about marketing in all the different ways, right? Marketing through networking, marketing through social media, marketing through email. It's been a super huge learning curve. And when you talk about epic failures, that's where I feel like I've had so many of them. But because of them, I've had so many breakthroughs because of, not necessarily doing it wrong, just not getting the result that I thought that I was going to get from it, learning how to tweak and pivot and shift. That's one of the biggest tools that we can learn, one of the biggest skills, I should say, that we need to learn. I mean, when you think about even in real estate, we have really great markets, which we just saw, they were crazy in their own way. And now it's starting to shift a little bit, and it's going to be a different market. And so I think the ability to learn, shift, pivot is probably a very, very useful skill, especially in business. Definitely learned a thing or two about working with a VA, a virtual assistant. That was one of my epic fails. I also learned so much from that experience. And what I learned is that I needed to be better at being the founder in order to be able to guide my assistant. So that was super, super amazing for me. I've been a keynote speaker in a lot of different Zoom rooms this year and at different events. I've been a member of the Chamber of Commerce in Bucks County. I'm now a Chamber Commerce member here in the Exton region, which that has been so great. I've been doing a lot of virtual events and a lot of more in-person networking events, which has been really, really awesome. And I still love all of the Zoom rooms that I'm in because I get to be with people that are not local to me. And that way I get to experience making new friendships and relationships and connections all over the world internationally. I had been invited by Robert Gregoire. If you guys remember, he was on one of our Facebook Lives twice, actually. We did a double take with him. He had invited me to a roundtable talk with EMDR therapy with lots of other amazing people. And I got to speak lots of time in there. That has been such a wonderful experience. From there, I ended up doing 20 hours of EMDR therapy personally on my own personal work. It was really, really amazing. If you guys want to go back, you'll be able to see the recordings. The first one that we did with Robert was talking about EMDR therapy. And then the second one, we actually talked about my personal journey in EMDR therapy. This year, I also took a ride out to Michigan with my cousins, and we got to go, hang out and be with other cousins and family members for a week, where I broke my finger playing football with my cousins, still healing. And that has been such a journey, right? This year, I also had in August, like my best month in real estate for sure was in August. I also got to lead one of our Growth Now community calls, right? And coached in there and talked about everything I'm doing coaching wise. I did a 4-day intensive. This is a really fun thing in Mexico. In October, every year I go to Mexico. I did a 4-day intensive with some clients out in Mexico where I offered them to come with me to an all-inclusive gourmet adult-only resort, one that I'm a member of, and they got to enjoy all of my benefits and got to luxuriate while working on themselves through personal growth. And it was just a beautiful time. The most amazing thing happened is I also ended up being there for 3 days by myself. I had somebody that didn't end up going, a friend of mine, she's probably on the call now, and she ended up not being able to go. So my clients left in 5 days, and I ended up being there for the other 3 days by myself. And it was such an amazing experience for me and kind of helped with my own personal growth, because I literally have never gone anywhere by myself, but now I feel like I could do it all the time. It was such a good experience. And we had so much amazing outcome from that retreat that I'm going to do another one in April. It actually is going to launch next week. It's going to be open for enrolling because I'm only taking 10 people with me. So if you want to be, and I think there's 7 spots left. I think 3 of them are already taken. I have to look into that. But if you want to be one of those people and you want more information about it, you can reach out to me even now before January, and we'll have a little chat about it so you can see if that's something you actually want to do. That is amazing. So I got to do that in Mexico last year, doing it again in April because it was such an amazing time. I'm sure I'll do it again in October as well. It's open for men and women. You guys can get your own room, or you can do it together with somebody and you can share a room, which also, decreases on the cost for you too. So that's awesome. In November, I did my annual pie that I do every single year. I offer pies to all of my clients, and then I invite you all over to my home for a happy hour pie pickup. And that was so much fun this year. I usually bake a cheesecake, which I did this year. And I also have a bunch of pies, so much food, so much champagne. It's so much fun. I also did this year in November for the first time, but I actually did 2 free workshops for bereaved parents. And that was, very difficult for most of us on the call, and also really soothing and warm and loving and compassionate for each other as well. There was so much value to what we all got. I am a bereaved mother. I lost my son 13 years ago, and tomorrow is his birthday. He would have been 31 this year. My son, Devin Pathak, he would have been turning 31 this year. And it's going to be the first time that I actually get to spend it with a lot more of my family this year. This is actually the first time that all of my cousins that we grew up with they all kind of came in from all over the country, California, Kansas, Michigan. They're all going to be together with me, along with my sister, my parents, maybe my niece, but we are all going to, my niece who bought me this sweater for Christmas. We're all going to be together tomorrow for my son's birthday here at my home. I live on an old farmhouse and we have a great property. So I'm super excited. I think the weather's going to be really nice. That's going to be awesome. Through my bereaved workshop that I did, of course, I ended up working with some moms one-on-one, which I usually do throughout the year because it's very challenging, and I love giving of myself, and they also help me through my tough times too with bereavement and grief, no matter how long it has been without your child. I won't say it doesn't get easier, but it definitely has days and moments that are very much more challenging than others, for sure. Tomorrow's going to be a day for me to just have family time and have some peace around my heart with my son's birthday. So I am actually going to, and she might be on the call right now, one of my bereaved moms. She said something to me this year. She was just like, oh, 23 is for me. She was talking about 2023. And I was like, I love the way you say that. I'm totally stealing it from you. And so if Teresa's on the call, I'm saying it out loud. It came from her, but 23 is the year for anybody to say 23 is for me, or 23 is the new me, or I can't wait to meet the new me in 23. Whatever way you want to say it, I think it sounds beautiful. And I want to talk about some things that I'm like looking forward to in 2023. I just finished my last 8-week program, which is how to put your goals on autopilot. So my clients just finished up their last class last week, and we have just for the month of January, we have a new program that I had done last January, actually, is how to achieve your goal in the first 31 days of the new year. So January for the new year, I actually just gifted this at one of our chamber events to somebody. We got to just pick a name out of the hat, and they got to win a free coaching month on this group program that I have in January. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. That is how to achieve a goal in the first 31 days of the new year. And the tools that you get in this are really awesome, because then when you know you can achieve a goal in the month, you can achieve it every single month. And I think what's really nice to do is have yourself a little bit like of a planned out map on what you want to do in this year. You know, I was listening to a podcast episode between my mentor, Brooke Castillo, and Ryan Moran, who is another mentor of mine. He and her were talking about the Super Bowl, and how, you know, we have the Super Bowl every year, right? It's football, for anybody who doesn't know, which I think pretty much everybody knows about the Super Bowl. But I was listening to them, and they were talking about how the Super Bowl, you have all of these different teams that are competing every single year for the same exact win at the end, to win the Super Bowl. And every single player on every single team shows up, and they give their 150% every single practice, every single game, right? They are working so hard towards this one goal, which is the same goal every single year, is to win the Super Bowl. And obviously only one team gets to win, but yet all of these teams work their tails off and practice to the bone. Every single practice, every single game, all year around, they are giving it their all. And just to find out that at the end, if they didn't win that Super Bowl. And something was really amazing. I thought, like, what is my Super Bowl? What is the goal at the end of every year that I want to accomplish, that I am going to give it my all every single day, all day, every single practice, right? It's about repetitions. That's how you achieve goals. That's how you achieve anything. If you want to change something in your life, it's a matter of practicing something new, right? We have practiced thoughts, practiced emotions, and practiced behaviors that give us the same exact results all the time. So anytime we want to do something new, we have to now start practicing new thoughts and creating new emotions and new practices, daily habits, right? If you will, behaviors, new behaviors, and maybe get rid of some old behaviors in order to achieve the new goals. And I thought about, like, what is my Super Bowl every year? What is the one thing that I'm working towards every year? And for me, it is my own personal transformation, my own growth at the fullest capacity, right? I want to meet the new version of me every single year, right? But how I do that is by meeting the new version of me every single day. Like, I hope that my evolvement isn't just, measured at the end of the year, but I actually keep track of myself all year long. right? And so when you think about what's the goal at the end of the year, what do you have to do? What goal do you have to achieve every single month in order for the final goal at the end of the year to happen? It could be a monetary goal. It could be a business goal. Maybe you want to grow. Maybe you want to expand. Maybe you want to venture out. Maybe a certain amount of employees you want to have by the end of the year. Maybe, if you want to grow your business, you can grow so fast that you literally have to add on new positions into your business, right? Like a new position actually opens up, or that position that person was in evolves and it's a completely new position now. So what are some of the things you want to do at the end of the year? How do you want that transformation to take place for yourself? How do you want to grow this year? What do you want to do differently this year than last year? What's the goal at the end of your life? And what do you have to do every year to get there? I think that these are really, really good ways to be thinking about our lives, because I think so many times you come January, everybody wants to make these New Year's resolutions. They don't necessarily always work because we get all pumped up and motivated for January, but then by February, we're already fizzled out because we didn't do the mental work that was required. And also we didn't really have a strong enough reason for doing the things that we said we wanted to do. So I'm going to use a very simple example, like going to the gym, or exercising more, or maybe it's quitting a habit like smoking cigarettes, right? These are really great goals. And I know me personally, I use cigarette smoking as an example a lot because I used to do it and I did it for 30 years. Can't even imagine today that I even smoked cigarettes, but I did for a very long time. And all the time I wanted to quit, but I never really gave it my all. Same thing with exercise and going to the gym or wanting to lose weight. These are really great goals, but the goal isn't just to lose weight or to go to the gym or to quit smoking, right? These are maybe some of the action steps to what really should be the bigger goal. The bigger goal in the bigger picture is longevity. Living a life in a pain-free body, living to a certain old age with having all of your functions, your mental functioning, your body functioning, right? You're not just like riddled with mental and physical illness by the time that, your life ends. You want to be able to not only live as long as you can, but you also want to do that in the healthiest, physically and mentally healthiest body and brain that you can, right? You want to be able to have all of your cognition. You want to be, I just see Betty White, who just passed away this year, just before her 100th birthday or just after, but 100, let's just say, completely all with it. Right? That's how I want to end my life, whatever age that is. It has to be a lifestyle, a type of life that you want to live. And I will tell you, all of these things that I was able to accomplish this year, I would have to attribute most of it through a small daily practice that I rave about all the time. The investment of a small daily practice, which I do it twice a day, is meditation. Meditation will let you slow down, but yet increase your capabilities, right? In every single facet of your life. So if you want to really exponentially grow, allow your brain to calm down and take some time to think about what you're thinking about, right? There's all these rules around our lives. Everybody has an opinion of what you should be doing with your life. There's all these, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Well, listen, stop living the shoulda, woulda, coulda and say like, F that, because this is about you and being in alignment with you and what you want in your life. And it may not be what society wants you to do. It may not be how, all of the preachers and teachers in your life, your boss, your parents, your, friends, other family member, culture, society. Listen, I happen to be the biggest rule breaker of all, right? But I thought myself to be like, oh, I'm just breaking all the rules and I'm doing it wrong. But really, I was blazing my own trail, right? I was a path maker. I wasn't just a rule breaker. I was a path maker. Number one, my own path. That doesn't mean it didn't come with a lot of failures and a lot of things that didn't work out in my favor. But in the end, in the big scheme of things, like look at where I am now, it's because of all of those moments combined that led me here, right? So I want you to think about how we are constantly living in this frame of negativity, especially if we're somebody that's constantly watching the news or even watching it daily. I've been in rooms where there's like 4 screens up at the same time. And it's like, look what's going on in this part of the world. And look what's going on in this part of the world. And there's bombs exploding here. And there's people running over here. It's constant chaos on the screen. How can you expect to not have chaos in your mind? There's no way to achieve these things, right? My podcast is exploding. My business is exploding. My real estate business is doing well. My relationships are doing well. So like, how can you do really positive and good things and transform in ways that are positive and happy and healthy and loving if you're constantly putting in negativity into your mind by what you're seeing out there? Makes sense on why we just have a bunch of road rage, or we can't let it go that somebody cut us off on the road, that we got to hold on to that negativity. It's also the pattern that you're creating inside of your body, right? Your body reacts physically through how we're thinking about things, and that's creating that emotion. The emotion is the vibration in our body. But when you think about vibration, that is what it is. I know I do a lot of talk about law of attraction, but it's really the law of vibration. When you are in negative states, you're vibrating at a much lower level, which of course, then you attract things that are also vibrating at that lower level. Do you ever notice that when you're complaining about something, you only want to be around people that are also complaining about the same thing? You're not going to go into a room where everybody's like, stop complaining about that. It's not like that at all. That is what I'm talking about. But when you are intentional about what you're doing day to day, what you're allowing into your mind, into your eyeballs, into your brain, and into your body physically, also stop eating crappy food. But when you're paying attention to what you're doing and how you're intentionally putting in the positive and keeping out the negative, that's when you're going to see that transformation, and it'll start showing up everywhere. One of the things that I noticed the most is how, since I've quit smoking, number one, and since I've been on a journey of my own personal growth. And just to let you guys know, I've always been on that journey, though just that one bad habit of smoking cigarettes kept it suppressed, didn't allow it to go further. You know why? There was a lot of shame around that. I could be in a really great room full of great people, but then I had my whole entire body just riddled with guilt and shame because I'm going to have to step away and go have a cigarette. Just that little thing, just one little habit really had a huge effect on my mindset, mostly about myself and the self-judgment about myself with that. So be very careful. And, it's a beautiful thing when you can learn more about you and be on to you. Stop living in the shoulda, woulda, coulda. Stop living in, the societal programming, which if anybody is familiar with Vishen Lakhiani, he calls them rules. They're the bullshit rules that society and all of your preachers and teachers, your environment, all the rules that they put on you, they are not for you to just take without thinking about them. And I'm not saying to go out there and break the rules and don't do this. Some of them are really important to have in your life, and some of them are just holding you back. You have to figure out what's holding you back, what's not in alignment with yourself. Where are you out there people pleasing? Where are you being a bully to yourself? And then decide how you want to change that. If you want help with that, reach out to me. It's Results by Design Coaching. That's what I'm doing all the time, is helping people break out of their unnecessary programming and start doing the real programming. Listen, it's no new news that we have about 60, 70,000 thoughts every single day. Over 90% of them are unconscious and practiced and just programmed. If we want to create different results, we have to understand first what they are by being aware of what we're currently doing, what we're thinking about, whether we want to keep it, whether it's serving us, whether it's not, and then decide what we want to do. Let's go make 23 amazing. I can't wait till next week, because I'm going to share with you all of the new things that I want to do this year. I want you guys to interact with me. I want you guys to share with me what you guys are doing this year. I'm still the wellness ambassador for my KW office in real estate. I'm going to continue doing that this year, and I'm going to continue being right here with you guys. So happy to be with you guys. So grateful for you guys. It's been a beautiful 2022. And I would love for you guys to put in the comments and share what have been some epic moments for you this year. Where have you grown tremendously? What have been some of those epic failures? What are you going to try to do this year? And let's make it happen together. And if anybody's interested in April's Mexico retreat this year, let me know. It's going to be from the 20th to the 27th. I will put some things. I want you guys to know that I have spent so much time in reading and learning. That's how you make changes for yourself in the new year. Mwah. Love you guys. Thanks so much. And I will see you guys next week. I'm going to enjoy my son's birthday tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you for listening to Unpacking Brain Drama podcast. You'll find links for all the things mentioned below in the show notes. And it would be incredibly awesome if you would take a quick moment to leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen. If you'd like to be considered as a guest on our podcast, be sure to go to www.resultsbydesigncoaching.com for a free 30-minute coaching session. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.